Hello and welcome to another exciting Blender tutorial. Today I'm going to take you through step by step how to make this dice from model all the way to shading, and I'm going to show you how to do it with a full workflow even if you're a beginner. So let's get started. Alright, so we've got our starter scene. This is Blender 5.0.1 to be precise. So I'm going to grab the light. You can see it gets selected over here as well in our outliner, which shows us all the objects in our scene. I'm going to shift select the camera, and I'm going to hit X with both those deleted with my mouse in the 3D viewport. It's very important in Blender. Blender is context sensitive, so wherever your mouse is will give a different result depending on the hotkey. So make sure you pay attention to where my mouse is when I'm doing things, okay? I'm going to hit X, and it'll ask me if I want to delete these objects. I'm going to click yes. So I've just got my cube. We're going to leave the default cube, and we're going to work with this. All right, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to go into edit mode. All right, let's jump in. So I'm going to hit Tab to go into edit mode. And in edit mode, we can switch between vertexes, which is the points at each corner, the edges, or we can select faces. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to start with everything selected. So I hit A there. You can see my hotkeys over here on the left. And I'm going to go, I'm going to hit F3, which brings up my search menu. This has all the different things I can do to this cube in edit mode. And I'm going to type in the specific thing I want, which is subdivide. All right, so we're going to go mesh subdivide, and it gets this little pop-up here, which gives us different options. And we're going to make the little divots in the dice first. Okay, so what we want to do is increase the number of cuts. We're going to keep going up until we get to a point where we've got a face for every location of each of the different little divots that we want. And in this case, 6 will give us enough. So if we go for 6 cuts. Now, with this little pop-up, this is something that is common to Blender. When you're doing functions like subdividing or beveling or something that is it's a destructive workflow, meaning you can't go back once you've done it unless you undo, right? There's a brief period where it's interactive, and that's when you first execute the command. So when I first executed the subdivide command, this little pop-up appears. Now, sometimes the pop-up isn't visible. It's just down here. So you have to know to look for it. It's a little bit of a gotcha. Once you click off, this will go away and you can no longer affect how many edges or cuts you've got. So what you want to do is whenever you're doing a tool like that, you want to come down and see first, does this appear? And if so, open it up and see what options it gives you. Okay, we're going to use this a few times. So I'll minimize this as a reminder so you can see me pop it up because it's something just to get used to. All right, so once you click anywhere, so I'm going to click over here. You can see it disappears. I can no longer affect those subdivisions. All right, now we're going to make sure that we're in face mode. You can also hit 1, 2, and 3 on your keyboard to switch between those quickly. And let's start with the 6. I'm going to shift select these faces right here. So these are going to become the 6 little divots for my 6. Now on the other side, we're going to come around. We'll do the 1. Here we go. We're just going to select everything that we need. Okay, so I'm not exactly sure what the correct numbering is for dice, like where they all go, but let's just come up with our own version, right? Why not? There we go. So there's 4. Let's do the 3. Bop, bop, bop. That and that. Is that? Yeah, that's 2. That's a dice. I've seen dice before. Ha! All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to create some geo for these guys. We're going to inset them. So we're going to basically press them in and create extra edges around this section, okay? So the way we do that is we can come up to mesh. This is also, you can get subdivide, by the way. You can come up mesh face up here and then inset faces. And you can see we can scroll our mouse. Now this is a bit confusing, okay? So at the moment, I haven't clicked, right? I'm just in this slide mode and it's insetting all the faces individually. It might be doing something a little different for yours, but for me, it's doing all my faces individually. And when I click somewhere, bam, it's going to commit that step. So the slide phase kind of exits and now we're still active, right? But if you notice, I've got my little box down here. Inset faces has just appeared. It wasn't visible a second ago when I was in that slide phase. Some operations have that slide mode. So you commit whatever slide you want, or you hit escape to kind of stick with the default, and then you can come down and open up this to mess with it. So, okay, so with this little pop-up, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go for a thickness of like 0.02 maybe. I want like a small little lip right here. And I'm gonna take the depth down into the negatives just a little bit. And this is gonna serve as like the beginning of my, the divot, right? The beginning of the little whole thing. You know what I'm talking. You know, you've seen a dice. I don't know what they're called. What's the official term for that little thing? I don't know. But if we have this small gap here, when we later on smooth this thing out, this is going to maintain a hard edge. To know now, even if it doesn't make sense yet. Okay, pressing on. Now what we're going to do next is we're going to do another one. So I'm going to click to commit and then, oh, but I didn't want to lose my selection. Okay, I'll just Control Z that. There we go. So I've got my selection back. Control Z is undo, by the way. Edit, undo. If you're in North America, you might say Control Z, but let's be honest, that's clearly the wrong way to say it. Hit it again. So we're going to go F3 and we're going to go for, what's the tool called? Inset. This time we're typing it in, okay? So mesh, inset faces. This, now again, we were in the slide mode. Click to get out of slide mode, and now I've got my control. All right, so this time I'm gonna go for like a 0.06 thickness and a negative 0.06 depth, let's say. That's probably deep enough. Okay, so once we've got this, now we've got all these little guys selected. We're gonna need to select these often, right? And instead of having to go around and shift select everything like 100 times and really annoying ourselves, what we can do is we can save these little divot boys as a, or girls, as a vertex group. So what we're going to do is come down to the green data tab. So this is the object properties panel. All these things are properties for this object that I have selected, except for these top ones, which aren't. These are scene properties, but that's another detail for another time. So let's come down here. We're going to go to the data properties, right? The little green triangle. And we're going to come here into vertex groups. If it's collapsed like this, you just uncollapse. No big deal. And we're going to click a plus and you get this little group here. You can call this whatever you want. If we double click it, we can call it pizzazz. How do you spell pizzazz? And then we can click assign. There we go. And then just to text that we got it right, we can click deselect and select. And there we go. Yay. So now we can easily get these guys quickly if we need them later. Okay, cool. All right. So I don't know why I called it pizzazz. It doesn't make sense. Let's call it dice divots. Spelling's not my strength. Okay, so just we don't need to judge me. Okay, now what we're gonna do next is let's create another vertex group for these edges, because we want these edges, right? These guys to hold firm. These need to be our firm edges when we do some other cool stuff in a minute. Actually, before I do that cool thing, I'm going to show you first. All right, so we've got our thing. I'm going to go out of edit mode, and so hitting tab takes me back. Now, this doesn't really look like a dice yet. We're on the way, but it's not quite right. We're going to add a modifier. So you come to the modifiers tab. This is this little wrench here. And this is where we have a bunch of cool, really awesome things hiding in these nested menus, which are new and no one likes, but I'm not going to complain. Blender's free. So we come over here to, where is it? Subdivision. So, I don't even know. I'm going to click search. We're going to grab a subdivision surface node. And I'm going to turn it up. Let's go to 2. Level and viewport is basically just when you hit render, it'll use this. But when you're just looking at viewport, it'll use this. So you can have like lower res while you're working and then high res when you render. But be careful. It'll catch you out. So you can see how these things are working, right? We're getting these nice circles. If we go up to like 3, really nice round divots. And our edges are looking very rounded as well. I'm going to right click and shade smooth. Did that fast. Right click, object mode, not in edit mode, and shade smooth. That'll shade this guy. Now, what we can do with this is let's make these edges hard. So what we're going to do is create a bevel modifier. So I'm going to go for bevel. And I want to put the bevel first. So I'm going to drag it up. So you see the little hamburger menu thing? I'm going to grab that. That lets you drag it. So this will bevel before it subdivides. And a bevel basically like takes an edge, right? And rounds it off more or less, right? You can see it kind of happening here. If I change the amount, we're not getting any interaction, but that's all right. What we're going to do is we're going to tell Blender to just bevel certain edges, right? So we're going to use that vertex group trick again to do this. So I'm going to go into edit mode and I'm going to hold down the Alt key. The Alt key is the loop select key, right? So it selects a continuous run of edges. When it runs into something where it doesn't know which way to go, like here, right? Because we got this extra edge that's kind of going in diagonally. It doesn't know where it should follow the flow, so it just stops. But over here, it's simple, right? If you alt click on one of these, it knows not to go up here. It's kind of just following straight through. Kind of think about it this way. Wherever there's a 4-sided face, it knows which direction to go. It just follows the 4-sided faces until it stops. Really useful for selecting a lot of things at once. I'm gonna hold down Alt, click this edge, hold down Shift, click this edge, click this edge, click this edge, and do that for all the edges. Once all the edges are selected, I'm gonna go to the Data tab. Under vertex group, I'm going to add a new one with the plus symbol. I'll call this one edges assign, and then I'll test it. Deselect, select. Beautiful, it's working. Come back to my modifier tab, open up the bevel, and right down here, limit method instead of angle. We're going to switch this to vertex group and say, I want you to use my edges vertex group. Now, the bevel will only affect the edges in that group. So you can see I can get this bevel to just affect these guys. So I'm going to bring this right down, make it a tiny little bevel. Increase the segments up to like 3. What's nice about modifiers is that unlike modeling, they're interactive and they're non-destructive. So you can go back and tweak this later, just these sliders. Very useful. So wherever you can, I'd use these. Some of them will slow you down a lot. So be careful if you've got like big complex scenes with a lot of stuff going on, these can catch you out. But generally speaking, they're pretty good. All right, great. I feel like our little circle things are a bit too small. So I'm going to go to face mode and then I'm going to come down to my vertex group. We're going to go to dice divots and hit select. And that will select. Now you don't see them selected because the subdivision surface is kind of hiding it. This off. This basically show what it's doing in edit mode. We can turn that off, then we can see it. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit Control plus. That expands my selection one more time. So now I've got the full divot selected for all of them. And then I'm gonna come up here to my transform pivot point. This is a great little tool. This basically tells you, where to pivot from. So if you were rotating this thing, do you want to pivot from the center, which would be like the medium point? Do you want to pivot from the origin, which is that little dot, which could be anywhere, right? Or do you want to pivot from somewhere completely different, like the 3D cursor, which could be off in the far corner of your scene? So very useful stuff. Anyways, we're going to pivot from individual origins. And what that means is basically each of these little islands of faces each one will pivot around itself, basically, if that makes sense. Okay. You'll see when I do this. So I'm going to hit S to scale. And you can see they're all scaling up right around where they're at. So this way we can make this stuff a little bit bigger, but it's kind of hard to tell like how this is going to look, right? So I'm going to hit escape to cancel that. Keep them all selected, but I'm going to click this button. That hides all my overlays, right? And then I'm going to come over here and turn the subdivision thing back on. So I'm still in edit mode and I have the faces selected, see? But now what I can do is I can interact with it and see what the final result looks like and go, yeah, that looks pretty good. That's a dice. Look at that. We just made a dice. Good on you. You're like a 3D modeler. High fives. Hang on. High five. Okay, so we've made some good progress, but let's put some shade onto this guy. Let's put some color on it. He looks a bit gray and boring and sad, but we could do a lot more with this. Do some rendering. All right, let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to put my widgets back on so I can see. And we're going to select the dice, and we're going to come over here to our shader tab in the properties panel, right, for this object. I'm going to click new to create a new shader. It will automatically be assigned to this because it's in a slot here for this, this object. And then I'm going to come up here, we're going to click this, and we're going to go to the shader editor. Ta-da! This is where you can make all your stuff. I'm going to call this dice. See, renamed it here as well. It's all linked up. This is all the same, right? You can swap the material here, and you can see it swaps it here on this object. So basically, whatever you have selected, right? If I have another thing selected, you can see this menu goes empty, and it's because there's no material on this object. The object property panel changes to represent the sphere, right? But if I click this cube, it's got this dice material on it. And it shows you how it's all connected and stuff. So that's kind of what's going on. And that's why it can be confusing if you have more than one object. About this is just showing you what's active on the thing you have selected. All right, great. Glad you understand that. Now we need to see what's going on. So I'm going to go Shift A, Mesh Plane. I'll scale this up. Now our dice is not sitting on the floor. So I'm going to grab Z up and I'll show you a trick. Actually, if you go to the object property panels, this is the transform properties for the Z, go up. You can see the number changing over here, right? And if I bring it up so it looks like it's just about on the floor, you can see it's almost the number 1. So if I type a 1 here, bam, we're sitting directly on the floor, more or less. Cool. All right, let's switch to rendered view. I like to go to rendered view. Make sure that you're in Eevee, okay? And then we're going to turn on render view, and then we're going to come in here and turn on ray tracing because we're cool like that. And then we're going to click this little drop down, and I want to turn off scene world. Basically, this allows me to use a built-in, what's called an HDRI. These are like little spheres that light your scene. We like, really cool. Cast shadows, they're really fun. You can even make them show up. If you go here to world opacity and turn it up, down, you can see what it really looks like. All right, let's start doing some shades. I'm going to come over here and let's go for like a red dice. Why not? That'd be kind of cool. And dice tends to be a bit shiny, so roughness is what we want to affect here. So roughness is basically how much does it bounce light off of it. If it's super reflective, then it's kind of a really low number here, and you can see here it looks like plastic, shiny plastic, which is kind of what we want. I'm going to bring that down a touch. Right, everything else I'm happy with. I'm not going to make it metal. I'm going to leave it like that. You don't need to really change a whole lot all the time. This is a really cool shader. Just looks great out the gate. But we do need to color our little divots differently. And thankfully, well, let's call this dice. Thankfully, we've got our vertex group dice divots. So I'm going to go into edit mode. select, go to the material tab. Now we need a new material. So I'm going to click plus to create a new slot on this object. We're going to click new to create a new shader. And we'll call this shader dice divots. Notice I'm naming it in here this time, not over here, but watch what happens. Ta-da! So their length are the same. And dice divots, we're going to go with a white color. But first we have to assign it. So even though there's 2 slots and 2 materials, Blender doesn't know where to put this material. So I'm going to click assign, remember, because we got the divots selected. There we go. Not quite enough, right? So we probably want to include more faces in this material. So I'm going to hit Control plus. This will expand my selection a little bit. Assign again, and bam, that looks good. I hope you really enjoyed this tutorial and learned a lot about how you can make stuff in Blender. Have a go exploring this dice yourself. Try making multiple colors, different types, create a little scene, arrange them, and have some fun with it. Thanks so much for watching. Special thanks to all the patron supporters and everybody who's joined on YouTube. Really appreciate all of you. Thank you for making tutorials like this happen. Don't forget to check out the Patreon. You can get project files, you can get uncut versions of my videos, as well as sneak peeks and all kinds of fun stuff like that. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. See you later. Bye.